Hello, my name's Adam, and I just wanted to pose a question for you this afternoon, wherever you are. Have you ever felt trapped in your body as if you know intuitively you have way more to offer to the world than you can actually execute pragmatically, that you can actually implement on a day-to-day basis? You move about, you feel in control, you have all this agency, this burgeoning confidence, or this potential that you like to animate and that you like to mesmerize and thrill and captivate with. And yet you feel trapped with this limited, narrow stream of resources that you have access to. And I'm not talking about financial wherewithal, because if you have the privilege or prerogative to even consider self-realization and contributing to the world, then sure, you might be abundantly secure in that realm, the basic needs in Maslow's hierarchy. But if you're like me, you've dreamed of something extraordinary, something bigger, greater, and a cosmic divide stands between you and that potential, because you just don't have that toolkit to exercise that vision. And you want to put it all together, and you could enact it out as if in a long cinematographic documentary, or like a reality, like you're in Groundhog's Day and there's unseen hidden cameras in the vicinity, and you feel like a hero or a character. You're going through life with this first person perspective, with this divinely charged electrical energy, and then you want to convey to the world and deliver this message of hope, of sanguine optimism. And you feel that you just feel that authentically within, and it's emerging in you, and it's burning in you like an unquenchable flame. Then I suppose, well, we're in the same boat together, and we're going down for a tempestuous ride through the ocean of life. And so today I vowed to myself, you know what? Fuck everyone else. Yeah, some people are not gonna like me. That's okay. And, well, I may not feel that way all the time. I may not feel that wholesome security that keeps me tethered to my clairvoyant vision that I aspire towards. But you know what? I have more to gain than I have to lose. 10 years now, a decade, looking forward, a century, a millennia. I'm not gonna regret this very moment. I'm not going to. Because you've heard the phrase, in a million years, who the fuck cares? Like, what matters at the end of the day? And something really profound happened to me. And I wouldn't call it an epiphany of sorts, but I was doing my customary yoga session, and it was quite dark outside because I had, one thing led to another, and procrastination bred this massive, gaping hole of unfulfilled destiny. And I was looking up at the stars, and just a week prior I watched Interstellar, and it was the most stirring, absorbing, magnetizing, moving, work of life, an analogy of life really, that I've ever encountered. Well, maybe that's hyperbole, but at least one of, at base minimum, one of the grandest things I've ever come to face. And the scene where Matthew McConaughey is trapped in that 5-dimensional labyrinth that was, that turns out was erected by future mankind. Well, it was just all reiterations, or at least repetitions, recurring events of that same significant paradigm shifting moment for him and his daughter Murphy. In the bedroom when he was about to leave, and he sent the sign at the time felt was, at least hypothetically, was purported to be gravity in motion. A strong, bizarre phenomena. It's not the word for it. Like an anomaly that had occurred in that bedroom of hers, where there was a strong gravitational pull, an unprecedented, an unusually strong gravitational pull that caused that seismic event where, books would fall down on their own volition, or that the dust fell in a symmetrical pattern. And then the ultimate plot twist, it was him all along. And she would have, learned that very late in her life, but at her deathbed had finally realized, and everything came into alignment. It was that moment for her. And I never sort of fleshed it out in writing or in speech before for myself to understand to create, to conceive of meaning around that whole scene or narrative. But I suppose now is a better time than ever. And I don't know. The words are at the tip of my tongue. The thoughts are at the surface of my skull. And I could attribute the lack of cohesion in my speech to, deficiencies in nutrition. Well, at least not long-term chronic deficiencies, or it's just I haven't eaten today, for instance. I've only had this bad boy. I wanted to cover the brand. It's a Remedies Kick Energy Drink, 80 milligrams of caffeine, fueled by, what is this? Fueled by green coffee bean extract, a natural form of caffeine. And it's supposed to be very, very, very mellow and linear. A linear release of caffeine, as opposed to, an undulating or causing jitters or crashes. But yeah, I could assign blame to all these external factors that are contributing to my poor cognitive performance and my brain fog, or myself stifling my speech and suffocating over these over the most optimal usage of the English vocabulary to make my expression and prose as magniloquently succinct and uplifting, with an added touch of levity and poise. Like, I don't know. There's so many things that I'd like to construct in this fabric of identification with self and consciousness that I like to put together and assemble into this monument that I would soon bow down to. I don't know what I'm saying anymore, but I suppose what I'm trying to get at is I've reached I wouldn't want to call it like a point of no return, But I've gone through enough cycles of telling myself one thing and behaving the other, of being a hypocrite to myself, saying that I'm going to pursue my dreams of being a singer-songwriter and I'm going to establish myself in the industry. And yes, I do apply myself. I rehearse my vocals every day, but it takes way more than that, and particularly in today's zeitgeist of just everyone's talented and everyone's more interconnected than ever, and therefore it gives us this intercalated platform of first being able to experience what it's like to live someone else's life, at least a glimpse of it, the most scintillatingly memorable parts of their lives, the most attractive and alluring parts of others' lives, but also just the torrent, the upheaval of talent available. And that really immobilizes me. That really causes my para-aqueductal gray to cause me to freeze in awe, really, at all this success and victory and triumph, and the algorithm, streamlining all your viewership and say even your listenership or your discography or just your content that you expose yourself to in this package of turmoil, torturing yourself in the deceptive belief that you're just never good enough, that you're never you're not tantamount to anything that you've experienced online. This is, where do I stand amongst all these people? And the answer is, I'm no match for them. And then you just go through life on a decline, on a wane, with that whole enterprise in the back burner. But it's still there somehow, and it's still lingering on because it's an inevitable destiny. It's your untrammeled calling, and no matter how far you deviate from it, the gravitational pull is so strong that it's inexorably compelling, and you just keep coming back. You just keep coming back without fail. And if you're like me and you're in that, I don't know what to call it even, if you're experiencing something similar alongside, whatever I've been describing so far in the past, I don't know how many minutes, as fluent as I may be, I'm not going to edit this footage. I'm just going to put it out because it's going to reach those who really need to hear this, and whoever's not meant to hear it will swipe right or left, whichever the fuck it is now. Left, because that's the universal left, swipe left. But yes, I suppose this marks the end of my long diatribe. I will stop attempting to concuss you with this battering of words. But if you reach this very end, I just want you to know that, and I know you've heard this a million times based on, your algorithm and the amount of fucking self-improvement, personal development videos that you've watched until now, and you're just feeling so exhausted, right? And there's probably another video which, in verbatim, where the talking head has said the exact same thing as me, where you're feeling so tired, you're feeling so drained, and then there's like a image of a person holding up against the wall and all the water is just falling down. I mean, like, how do they film those? Like, do they know that they're out there they're putting that footage out there trying in the hopes of achieving views? What is it? A tactic of manipulation? Like, that person is clearly not in distress if he is being filmed having his hand against the wall with the shower pouring over him. Mulligan Brothers. Anyway, not to name check anyone, which I just violated on my own accounts, I'm going to end the video here. If you feel like someone else is going to be impacted in the same way, I'd like to create a community. Like, we need to link up, you and I. We need to connect, because the universe has, well, it's created that pulsation deep inside me, that impetus strong enough for me to be fucking doing this at 1 o'clock in the afternoon here in Melbourne, Australia. But yeah, it's back to the rote. It's back to the menial tasks, because hammering away, it's unfailing, it's infallible, and it's the only thing that can keep me, I'm not gonna say grounded, but keep me calibrated and moving in the right direction. At least I hope. And for you today, that's my blessing for you, is that you find that you lost for words here, but it's something to do with how you land your feet first and you don't catch yourself falling afterwards. I'm sure that's not how the saying goes, but namaste. Thank you for watching. I'll see you on day 2, I suppose.